Now watch time and space rock a great matriarch, whether it's day or dark, creates the spark, waves the heart as I sun ray my art her make the patriarch. Most social media saviors are fakes, marks once we make knowledge one is when time and space rock. The great matriarch, whether it's day or dark, creates the spark, waves the heart as I sun ray my art her make the patriarch. Most social media saviors are fakes, marks once we make knowledge one is when the run and bass drop. I rose up, took a shower, purified my arc field, took copper for a wall to ensure my chlorophyll is pumping. Done some curls for sure, I've more to build. Solid foundation, my crown chakra core and hill, pound the pavement. Sacred ground, freedom I stand for. Free all political prisoners of war, man or woman and child. Rid the land of all foreign and alien entities. I decree this morning, send them back to whence they came. Is the peace laugh or war cry, whatever the relevant name of each path, simple highest form, spiritualities, how you teach math. A humble beach is still a beach. Now feel the beach raft, rain fire upon them, and the internet forms, sigils, emojis, and the avatars that wore them. Destroy this de facto government and its quorums. Establish Big Ma's house so she may restore him. A great matriarch, whether it's day or dark, creates the spark, waves the heart as I sun ray my art her make the patriarch. Most social media saviors are fakes, marks once we make knowledge born is when time and space rock. The great matriarch, whether it's day or dark, creates the spark, waves the heart as I sun ray my art her make the patriarch. Most social media saviors are fakes, marks once we make knowledge born is when rhyme and bass drop. The next host, note to self, quit playing, hit the gas. This shaft is called my turn, take the risk and spaz. Most of them got vaccinated with chips in their ass, plus rappers sacrificing each other for grips of their cash. Sad can't watch videos without the subliminals, predictive programming, weirdo shrunk menstrual shows. The land's contaminated, fruits and vegetables, plant minerals, the water and skies I fry. Liquid chemicals, technology got me here in front of my desktop, perusing these beats and whatnot for my best option, contemplating which bar will next spot to unlock the minds that are stuck within a Xbox. Off the chart, I continue to climb, watching the rest flop like carp fishing, 100% fresh shark water. I'm on the front line, X marks the spot. I shine because of her, for she's the best part. The great matriarch, whether it's day or dark, creates the spark, waves the heart as I sun ray my art her make the patriarch. Most social media saviors are fakes, marks once we make knowledge born is when time and space rock. The great matriarch, whether it's day or dark, creates the spark, waves the heart as I sun ray my art her make the patriarch. Most social media saviors are fakes, marks once we make knowledge born is when the rhyme and bass drops. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the great matriarch. Honor and respect to our ancestors. Sure, you've always had a father, the author of your flow, the show fire starter, the cause of your glow. But the trail I've blazed, I pray you turn from it. The hell I've raised, I pray you don't burn from it. The work I put in, I pray that you earn from it. The mistakes I've made, I pray that you learn from it. You my splitting image, little darker, little taller. I'm a shot caller, though you just a little baller. Little chief, I'm still teaching you like Yang. My healing, reaching you, this might be lock and chain. Black, you speaking true, you ignite lots of pain.
What's up, Millennial? What's up, mama?
Of lightning and drops of rain from the sound cloud. You shine like me, the crown sprout. But unlike me, shine, you haven't turned down loud. A smoke screen which surrounds you, shrouds your sound. My shout allow your genius to astound the crowd. You my beloved, you scintillate profusely. You my beloved, you resent fate foolishly. You my beloved, do ventilate truthfully. You my beloved, son, and who I'm well pleased. Okay, shall we? Your vision is resplendent, my descendant. When filming, your intuition extends. The lenses felt when your cinematographic flashes of your scripted class get your inner magic. Dramatic action mixed with vivid aspects mastered surpasses the average glass. Stretches the facet through the scope of life's Kodak. You see classic. The question you have is mathematics. Please ask it, son. Earth's a classroom.
Appreciate you,
So
hon.
put your hand up.
That was some idiot
You
wanna be
already
special.
knew the answer. I pray to God
Hey,
to
look,
give me
it
another chance
will
for
be
the love
that
of
right
my
there will be
life.
looking at me
My
like
life
this.
Just a romance in the misconception.
I know.
No time for second guessing. It's destined. You knew who was who through a reflection that she showed you of me many years ago. Special features.
It'll be looking at me like this.
Appears to show you my beloved. You scintillate
Once.
profusely. You my beloved.
I've seen it a million times plus.
You my beloved.
Literally walking by me like this.
Truthfully, you my beloved.
Like confusion.
I'm well pleased.
Won't remember
Now,
nothing.
Samuel, I am you.
I can't do nothing about it. I don't even want to be there. To me, it sounds like a curse. But everyone, when things come back as they will,
the most I sat me down to learn patience through abstinence, amongst other lessons. Perfect my craft and talents, balance of our legacy in the black.
Everyone has
talents. Face
something.
adversity, overcome all
You know what I mean?
challenges.
Something that
Generational wealth for the next child.
I don't know how long.
Can't make the same
There's no
mistakes.
time. There's no. That's.
Past tense instead. Let's create
It's-
a after we've cried.
I can't explain it.
Type of atmosphere.
I think I was burdened. I call it a burden, right? Because I can only see me. I can only see me doing it. It may. I don't. That's in a higher state. I think because there's probably factors and reasons to it. I clearly don't. I don't know. I just know that they think they're hidden and doing that thing they've been doing. They have become they have become so corrupted.
The human heart cries out for
Can't
help.
say nothing.
The human
else,
soul
really.
implores us for deliverance. But we do not hear their cries, for we neither hear nor understand.
Nothing they can do about
The
it.
man who hears and understands
Not now.
we call crazy.
They might as well go ahead and do whatever they.
This the cause
You'll
of my
see.
ancestors. Rid the land of damn settlers. Turn our signs to hand gestures. Whether
There's
we
nothing
feeling
I can do
advanced
about
pressure. Some store each clan better.
Come on now.
Devil to stand it weather.
Mind your manners.
Band together.
Thank you.
Abraham and Esther from
All right.
Castilians to conquistadors, Iberians,
Thank you.
traitorous Moors didn't arrive as friends to us, whether as slavers, invaders.
They
or
say carbon. That's not what attracts things.
missionaries, Islamic Christians,
They want you to believe that.
mutual
That's not
cultural coexistence,
attraction's natural.
warships in our tributaries, military tactics to test shores. Foreigners have no respect for treaties of oath. I expect war from those who want to conquest, except war. They didn't bring women.
Thank you.
Invasions, demise, won't rape.
The red ants. Big head.
Disinformation was manufactured the miseducation of the soul. Carter G. Bush, Robert Taylor Holmes, Marcy in Brooklyn, projects and hoods when we were pushed in Cali to Florida.
I mean,
it's like the
I had somebody who-
never-ending shipment of American Indians from
I had
Belize
somebody-
to the Caribbean. Gives I shot this sheriff
I
lane.
say, Red,
Shot
why'd you
my
say
son to be
say
read,
something?
no book.
I said because I was supposed to.
Behind the back pass with
I
flag,
can't-
no look. This beef is rare,
I can't elaborate. I want to find a real feeling, something that is something that will bring me a clearer, deeper understanding to explanation. I can't. I accepted it after all the sleepless nights. Like I didn't want to sleep. I don't think people can really gather the fact that sleep apnea, insomnia, was just not military, but based on minerals and all that and stress, and it was a lot. It was a lot of other stuff to it. It was I didn't want to drink. So there's nothing I could do about it. Even now, I look for a rational, irrational for it. Like, they put it in my head. You know what I'm saying? I look for any and everything.
We're not going back and forth about this or that. Whether your word is bond or
I can't find it.
Here's a big fat yellow, white, red, brown, black.
I'm gonna leave that alone for now. Hey, Asia. I'm gonna leave it alone for the moment. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm talking about something else. So I'm about to cook something. I think I'm gonna juice. I'm gonna go out and get my juicer, juice some carrots and the rest of the cabbage, and maybe do that for another day or two. If they're attempting to attack me with fiat, they are so. It's not even about enjoyment. It's so funny, and yet, and it's not sad. It's not sad. Everyone makes a choice, but it's like, okay. To them, this means everything. To me, it means nothing. Known by his speech, yet if I don't speak, I suffer defeat. I'm other than we, a sucker or me. Stand on 2 feet, one turn the other cheek. The wise man known by his silence, mostly disguised compliance. Silence by guidance, from conspiring to novice. Other aspirants of violence, tyrants of fire. Trying to trans to hide. I'm looking at my karate feet. I know I got some good looking feet.
I'm not the wisest, I'm not lying. My refinement and confinement and requirements for this climate. Y'all push out the paperwork, or y'all can protest, but they can't escape this. I vow to progress, don't duck, no wreck, true music for real. My soul they don't possess, real foolish with no deal. Ain't playing with none of them, it's personal, know what the business is. Big monsters come full circle, so vacate your premises. About this or that, whether your word is bond or whack. Here's a big thing, yellow, white, red, brown, black, Mau, or big bang, whether earth is round or flat, we want our shit back. We're not going back and forth, about this or that, whether your word is bond or whack. Here's a big fat, yellow, white, red, brown, black, Mau, big bang, whether earth is round or flat, we want our shit back.
I gotta go walk. I gotta get my 10,000 steps in.
To suppress rising, the oppressed rising up against the oppressed.
I got a little bit in this AM, but I didn't get all in. At least I like to get about hour walk. Sometimes it's walking around here and then going out all the way to the back of the 38, 40 acres and doing my thing. Maybe out to the road, all the way over by the natural gas. That's a good little walk, about football field and a half. It's good to walk. I'm not gonna be doing all that running no more. I'm getting my magnesium. I've learned a lot through my past of fasting and stuff. Like I've fasted for over 14 days before. I think that's the reason why I'm not really that fat. I got fry bread gave me the handles, but they're going away. But I need the magnesium and coconut water and lime or lemon. So I do. Hey Fred, what's going on? You know what I mean? Hey Sharon. So that's the reason why. You know what I mean? I was holding off from it, but you know when you need something, and without taking the pills. You know what I mean? It's only about a quarter in it. It's not that much. But this is my second soursop, you can have 2 to 3. I just do 2. Usually if you do that, you don't drink water, your urine will be very dark because your liver, your kidneys, you can get crystalline if you do too much. You got to take a break. Yet, usually it's going to be dark because you have a lot of toxins. Fasting is very good. That's why I'm thinking about, I was going to cook something, but I'm thinking about going another day, maybe 2. There's so much clarity that comes when you're fasting. You are challenged. The older you get too, you're challenged.
Everybody back off.
Where you want things. And the beautiful thing is when you fight it, you know.
Gimme, push, step, crush.
Now the fasting isn't the fasting like what people think, like water fast and all. No. I may do that once I get that built. I gotta cut the thing off, put some more ledges, then get all the rest of the wood. And it's only like a couple $100, and I can build the whole thing out and get it established. And then the next month, then I'll worry about wiring and all that. But you guys are gonna walk right along while I'm building it. I may do a video, upload it. We'll see. I just got rid of like, oh my goodness, I just got rid of like, I don't know, 5 gigabytes. I got to get rid of like 60 more. So I'm looking at the videos and I'm saying like, I'm never going to show it. I don't even look at it. I just downloaded it because I found it might be important to people, but people aren't really, they're not having clarity. So I don't want to say it because I'd rather greet and power to you and make it suffice. But yet I cannot change. I cannot change the benefactors of their convenient living. You know what I mean? There's nothing special, but everything is great. You know, we are not just complete, we're beyond the magnificence of our creation. Yet, everyone's a captive. You know? Everyone's a captive. I was looking at one of Clint Eastwood's movies, and I went to Wikipedia to pull the bio on some of the spaghetti westerns that are made over in Italy. And there are people there from Spain who you would think are Mexican. They were Spaniards. Between the Moors and those who conquered the land, making the babies, like I stated, you know, when a girl, this Ashkenaz, the way they change the narrative is when the men die and then the women succumb, and it was powerful battles, y'all can't even imagine. They would take these young girls, and the moment they would menstruate, they would, you know, and they would bring this new race, and they would teach them what they wanted them to know. And they would have their so-called fake elite do this surreptitious and have people under control and duress to do it. This is the chaos. And this guy came talking about this African guy. I says, man, if you don't just get out of here with your colonizing goofy behind, I could accept you as a brother, but no. You have no idea of your existence. Stop it. And, you know, people are ignorant to these facts. It's sad. And there's a lot more to it, but I've already said enough about that. And there's individuals finding out stuff, man. And I said, when I share stuff over the last 4 decades, well, more than that, but you know, since I was 18, actually 16, because you know, I used to talk and argue with people. Yet it gets around. It doesn't matter how long it takes. People start looking and saying, wait a minute. I don't dismiss my light-skinned brothers and sisters. They can't. Every one of us have this long this trade-off, but they don't know their history, and they only know what they've been given, and therefore it keeps the division and separation from truth and the beguileness of lies. It's sad. And as you see there, what I put up there, I'm going to pull up something and I want to ask some questions and see if anybody can respond to them. You know what I mean? I only run if I'm being, I don't even run then. I might roll and dive or something, but I'd rather be like front to front. Yeah, it was frozen. It was like that much frozen. And I needed it because I was like, you know, I don't have any more. I'm kind of butt out because, you know, still there's certain individuals who haven't paid me back, and I don't live rich. And so now these idiots, CIA, whatever the culprit ones, feel like, oh, we're going to do this and do that. And you have individuals who are out here in fear or whatever, and tactilely, they're going to listen, they're going to do. It's real funny. But anyway, let me pull this up. I'm going to read something out of The Power of Now first. But let me pull this up. I don't want to be on here for long, okay? I really, really don't. Let me turn this off. I had something I wanted to play for you guys to listen, but I would like to have an end picture, and I think I can do it on here, but I'm not going to bother right now with it. You know. Okay, let me which tab was it? Smithsonian Magazine. Number the weapon against our people. You would think, you know, with them making a weapon against our people, you'd think that people would pay attention to that and go, there's something not right, you know, but yeah. But people don't want to give up what they think is right that was given by an enemy, if you get what I'm saying. You know, jeez, Manelli. All right, let me see if I can pull this stuff up, because I'm having a hard time finding it. No, it got to be down at the bottom. Hold on, let me okay, let me see where it's at. Oh, they're really in here being nosy. I'm enjoying this. Now this I enjoy. When they're being nosy, I enjoy it. Okay. Okay, let me see. Ooh. I only looked that up in 3 places and they got it down like 50 times. That's so funny. Well, anyway. So, y'all know what I got up there, and I'm just going to try and shoot it from the hip if I can. So, as you know, back in 1917, okay, that we had a march, 1917, think about it, where we owned 250,000 acres. Do you know what 250,000 acres is? That's the gift. With about 20 million acres. No, it was 250,000 farms. 250,000 farms. All right. We owned them. Okay. Just like the original banks. We owned them. And the oil fields, the original ones, we had them first through Oklahoma, so-called Texas, and all that. Okay. And with 20 million acres of land. Do you know what 20 million acres of land? I want somebody to repudiate and dispute this. See, this is what they don't want you to know they didn't teach in the schools. Worth over $500 million, $500 million. And 1917, do you know what that would be worth right now? And somebody wanted to argue with me, you know? And I was like, well, what do you want to argue about? Like, I'm not going to argue. I don't waste my time arguing with those who don't know nothing. The majority of us have never accepted this African American nonsense. All the lies that they've equipped themselves, and that takes energy from them. Yet there are those who are ardently going to hold on to it. There has been nobody to, not even Bill Gates, with all his billion, you know what I mean? And And it's only so that you can be further poisoned. And then someone say, well, what you going to do? It's not what you going to do. What are you going to do to right the wrong? Who remembers in the 70s when they started going to GMO corn? Before that, in the 60s and stuff, there was nobody fat, diabetic from eating corn. Something that I had heirloom seeds over 200 something years old that I grew them, and people were like, can we get some more of that? Even my watermelons were so sweet. Like family heirloom seeds I kept throughout the military. I used to take them to my grandma. I go say, hey, Mom, bring me them seeds. All right, I got a few. Okay, I'll grow and make more. Even the cabbages I grew. All right. Old. I'm looking for that picture with me standing by my grandmother with my miniature Shetland sheepdog, Callie, Aristotle Van Dan Lee, a German name, yes. Anyway, I'm looking for it beside the house so that y'all can see little me over there standing with Mom, working in the garden, and then the one on the reservation in the garden that I built. I have the pictures. I just got to go through it and get over, and put it together and make a couple of posts. I always stated to people, if you don't know your past and the truth, you're doomed to repeat. That's a saying that was a joke among the elites that sadly people are coming to realize is factual. You know what I'm saying? Over in Rafta, right? You have these mercenaries, and a lot of them employed, maybe once with Blackwater, the SEAL team maybe got and made that, Arabs. This thing is strong for those who are very unaware. And you got to remember that when these Ashkenazis went there, they weren't no farmers and stuff. They were living off of the Palestinians. A lot of their food is a mixture of ours, theirs, a plethora. And to see anybody groom children for the destruction, it's something that has happened time and time again. And here y'all get to see it in real time. And yet, we got the ignorance running for war, to die, not to live another day. And to never be able to learn anything that may be relevant and truthful. You know what I mean? Kalana in here. Time catching up. Hey, appreciate it. What's going on, Mr. Tenfrey? What's happening? What's happening? Muhammad, where are you from? My ancestors. I came here long ago, long before you were even created, before you even became who you are. They came here long ago, long ago. Exactly, and here, exactly. Hey man, what you doing with that name? Some don't know I'm half German, well, part German, and I always show my family's names. Kaiser, Klein, and Schaust. And I'm a little Costa Rican and Chinese as well. But other than that, I'm Chickasaw, the Choctaw, and Anahuia, which is not what people think, but I'm not here to talk about that. We never had a religion. We were by the definition of religion, we lived exemplary. We fought against the enemies of life. A long fight, longer than any of y'all's fights. Long fight. Fight that never should have happened. Somebody got upset. I guess it was on complexion. About me talking about the Brooklyn Bridge, the fact that we used to paint it. And since they can't hide that, I've got pictures that, and they wanna hold the lie so much. And the first thing it says, what about that guy down there in Florida who built the castle, or what you call it, Crystal Castle, whatever? And night people look at the hole, says they saw giant rocks levitating. You could do that now. The only problem is you haven't been given permission, sadly, and you haven't been taught. The Coral Castle, yeah. I detest these words. I really, really do. I've unbound myself from them. I really have. Now, I'm not here to be throwing secrets around and stuff. I just want to be a small little guy. For those who are actually concerned and they're not afraid and they want to step out of their comfort zone, because their comfort zone is not really comfortable at all. You know? Now I can prove that and sum it up in a sentence. But yeah, I don't want to do that either, because it's not, then that could for some be like ego tripping, because you know, people are hurt. You know what I mean? People are very hurt, and they'll hide behind, you know, the facilitation of the false facilitation of their existence. See how the wind started blowing? So I always ask people, 1917, what do you know about it? I told y'all I have two great uncles that fought in the fake Civil War, and their remembrance, they were fighting all these different people that kept coming to the land. They weren't fighting somebody, yeah, from up north, but it wasn't what people think it is. They were fighting foreigners coming, attempting to conquer, just like out of California. What you would call like the Amazonians down in Brazil, they were all over. They were in Cali, which is Carolina. California is actually Carolina, the island. There were Amazons and the kingship, not just the queenship, but men. They were fighting our people, and to have my great uncles ensure that I knew this, there's a reason for it. They talked about how they killed plotters and rows, and they just kept coming. You see that today, and nobody's paying attention because everybody has their own hardship and pain, but nobody wants to stop. Nobody wants to say enough. I expressed it to a Russian friend of mine who was in the Marine, and he said, I know. I said, Putin plays a part. He's sending the people to die. He sits there, he talks with, they all talk with each other. Hitler didn't die. Hitler came here. Mussolini died because he wasn't really in the circle. He was not part of that blood. The dynamic of him, because you saw the Japanese, he got to live. But nobody wants to have real conversations because they cannot facilitate their fictional leaders doing this. But it's part of the program. It's part of the corporate indemnity. The fact that everybody moves on rubles, yen, that money, that was only created by the mark of Zorro. And nobody wants to have that real deep conversation to further free themselves. Whether they call themselves Arab or Black Americans or African or white Anglo this and European that, Afrikaners, Asians, all these names are new or a play. We as a one world, Atlantis, Tartaria, these things were never required or needed. And some will say, well, then that's how we fell. No. Absolute power, whether minute or large, corrupts. It corrupts those who are gullible enough to believe, to facilitate in the darkness of their existence another reality. And when they're, you can only subjugate the world when they live peacefully. I want to read this. All right, this is out of the book Power of Now, a Guide to Spiritual Enlightenment. All right, let me. That's just a regular. Yeah, I still do I just put my nicotine in today because I was going to break my fast. That doesn't help nothing because it's in my system. It'll be in my system for about 10 years. And with the natural form. So it's a level 6, which is 3 is best for me. It's too high. But I'm going to read this, okay? Beyond happiness and unhappiness, there is peace. Listen, beyond happiness, all right, and unhappiness, there is peace. That means beyond the both of them, okay? We already said, I don't do that. I don't do that. Salutations of power to you. I don't say that. I don't do that. I gotta finish this. Oh, soursop. Yeah. Soursop, dandelion root. Dandelion root alone kills 87% of cancers. Soursop can destroy most of them parasites. That's all cancer is. And they become, and pineapple, cloves, garlic. There is a lot of stuff, but you got to be careful. I'm going to pickle some cucumber. I should have done it. I froze them and they got too soggy. I'm going to purchase some more cucumbers. I'm going to pickle them. I'm going to show you how I pickle them using seaweed, water, garlic, black pepper, chili peppers, baking soda, aluminum-free baking soda, just a little bit, like a pinch, and about 2 tablespoons of rock salt. What happens is all that stuff ferments, it gets a little gaseous, and you put it in the fridge. You let it get cool. And after a few days, boom, you don't need vinegar. All right. So anyway, beyond happiness and unhappiness, there is peace. I'm also going to make this bread that's made out of flax seeds, or you can use flax and chia seeds. I'm going to do flax and chia. That's the first one I'm going to make. I'm going to record it and upload it. I'm going to do veggie wraps with that. I'm going to make it as best I can. I got to pull my blender up and all that kind of stuff. My juicer is a blender as well. So, and I'll show you guys. Okay. But anyway, beyond happiness and unhappiness, there is peace. The higher good beyond good and bad. Is there a difference between happiness and inner peace? Yes, is what they state. Happiness depends on conditions being perceived as positive. Conditions, how is America so super slave? They think they're free. So happiness depends on conditions being perceived as positive. Inner peace does not. You don't have to explain it. I can't tell you the inner peace that I have because there's so much chaos that I would allow you to rob it from me. There's no way you can do it, but I would allow you to take it from me. Is it not? Oh, come on, guys. Come on. I know. Let's go chill. There ain't nothing here to eat, guys. All right, go. I'm using they're just running this water and stuff, and I guess they think I'm a sweet treat. I don't know. Go on, guys. Anyway, I'm not hurting them. It is not possible to attract. Listen to this. Let me say it close. It is not possible to attract only positive conditions into our lives. There's 2 lizards right by my feet. They're eating the ants. I want to let you see. shoes. I love it. Was it good? We're gonna make them ants mad. Come on, guys. It's not me. The lizard's eating you. Jeez. Anyway, I just thought that was interesting, and you might like it. They always put it right up to me, like the bird was sitting here and jumped down on the table right beside me. Anyway, let me finish reading. My apologies. Hey, Patricia. What's up, Mama? Salutations and gratitude for it. It is not possible to attract only positive conditions into our life. If our attitude and our thinking are always positive, we would manifest only positive events and situations, wouldn't we? I want you to really listen to what I'm saying and what I did. Hey, Mark. Oh, bald butterfly. It is not possible to attract only positive into our life. If our attitude and our thinking are always positive, first thing y'all think is chaotic. Yeah, somebody will take advantage of it and blah, blah, blah. Well, you are what you speak. You become and you live as you believe or think. You facilitate it. So, if our attitude and our thinking are always positive, we would manifest only positive events and situations, wouldn't we? Now, just knowing that, I want to share this with you guys, if you don't mind. Oh, 30%. Cool. Let's see if I can pull it up. Bang! All right. Let's see if I can pull it up. CAR, but then you got the hoppe tobacco mix, and what it is like snuff, but the thing is like a little thing where you get the right amount, you put it in your nose, and and it's very dynamic. It's very dynamic and very beneficial. Okay, when I did it, just like when I went to a few of the peyote ceremonies. And set up in the steams built with red clay like this, and water and straw, and you sit underground, kind of. The visions. I was only doing it because I wanted to stop seeing the dreams. But as this one little medicine man, Navajo and Hopi, who knew who we are, says, you don't want to get rid of that. That is meant for you. And so they didn't want to know the dream, but they asked, like, to give a little, and I said, no, I can actually explain it to you. And I told them, and they were like, we need you to come here. So we need you to, and that's how I found out for the canopy and the tobacco mixture that you, and they said, you don't even need the peyote. That's why I do what I'm doing. And it took 300 people to say, yeah, Red. And I counted. 300 person. I went through the list. I said, okay, I'm gonna do these lives. actually pay attention. All right. This is some pretty crazy stuff. But let me finish reading. I'm going to finish reading. And I want you to really pay attention. Do you truly know what is positive and what is negative? Do you truly know what is positive and negative? Do you have the total picture? Have you gathered it yet? Don't just go, war is negative. I got a pay raise. It's positive. Are y'all aware that your government gave themselves up over 900 million? What does y'all get every year at your job? For those who work, those ones got the 401ks. You get a bonus, right? Your government, your so-called government that you profess and claim, they give themselves pay raises that are worth over 40 to 60 million dollars, and while y'all struggle and suffer and they want to mitigate and mess with things. This is the enemy's narrative that paints this vicious cycle that incorporates individuals to go against their best interests of existence. I just want to say that. All right? That's how you see our people lost the land, was through chaos, turmoil, lies, and individuals not stepping up because we had so many who took the paycheck to be comfortable. That is not who our people were. So do you know what it is? What is positive and what is negative? Do you have the total picture yet? There have been many people for whom limitation, failure, loss, illness, or pain in whatever form turned out to be their greatest teacher. I always say, pain can articulate a level never fathomed. That is the reason why people are waking up. Doesn't mean it's a good thing. It's not about good or bad. It's about the natural order that still is within so many. It taught them to let go. It taught them to let go of It taught them to let go of false self-images and superficial ego-dictated goals and desires. I'm going to repeat that. It taught them, all right, to let go of false self-images and superficial ego, all right, dictated goals. Ego-dictated goals is not natural. A false, goals and desires. It gave them depth, humility, and compassion. Depth means a deeper collusion with things that will be beneficial and good and take you into the right direction. Okay? It made them more real, more. Whenever anything negative happens to you, there is a deep lesson concealed within it. There is. Although you may not see it at the time. Even a brief illness or an accident can show you what is real and unreal in your life. Sadly, people have pneumonia, this, that, and the other, the cold, or whatever, and they make it through it, and they forget to check it, to be responsible. They give it to a God, I don't want to die. They do it out of fear, and therefore they articulate a certain way to go back to the very same way they were living instead of being truly appreciative of the life they have. So you get a superficial and ego-dictated ideology that is not based on moral subjugation or moral truth. It's just a feel-good moment. It still anticipates the bad. It's not natural. And seen from a higher perspective, conditions are always positive. To be more precise, they are neither positive nor negative. They are as they are. Established but not established. And when you live in complete acceptance of what is, which is the only sane way to live, there is no good or bad in your life anymore. There is only a higher good, which includes the bad. Now you take away one O, and you get God, right? Anyway, don't play with that. Okay? Seen Did y'all hear that? I heard just a whole bunch of flying beasts. Unnatural. It was just a buzz like millions of them. What the friggin' anyway, let me go ahead and read. I don't worry about that stuff. Anyway, seen from the perspective of the mind, however, there is a good, bad, like, dislike, love, hate, as far as a relationship with these things. Hence, in the book of Genesis, it is said that Adam and Eve were no longer allowed to dwell in paradise. And when they ate of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, that is. You know, this is why I like when he comments on these things. And let me read what he... this sounds to me like denial and self-deception. When something dreadful happens to me or someone close to me, accident, illness, pain of some kind, or death, which all believe what death is, I can pretend that it isn't bad, but the fact remains that it is bad. So why deny it? Do you see how you have this false deniability that keeps you stuck in the sump of these narratives that paints a very ugly portrait? You are not pretending anything. You are allowing it to be as it is. That's all. This is the reply or response. And this allowing to be takes you beyond the mind with its resistance patterns that create the positive, negative polarities. It is an essential aspect of forgiveness. And forgiveness of the present is even more important than forgiveness of the past. Let me repeat that. This allowing to be, takes you beyond the mind with its resistant patterns that create the positive, negative polarities. Y'all would say, isn't that balanced, Red? It can be seen as, though. It is an essential aspect of forgiveness. Forgiveness of the present is even more important than forgiveness of the past. If you forgive every moment, allow it to be as it is, then there will be no accumulation of resentment that needs to be forgiven at some latter time. Anyway, okay, again, there will be no accumulation of resentment that needs to be forgiven at some later time. Y'all saw the video with the little young girl, sadly, wanting to fight a girl, and the security guard was protecting her, and everybody knew she was a mess, a hot mess, this young lady, sadly. And she went and hit the security guard. He went to mollywopping her butt. Well, sadly, I want to say parents do better. No, there is an imbalance. There is pain and suffering all the way around, even with those thinking they're doing the right. She, I guarantee you, not to prolificate it, things thought that she was doing the right thing. Just as the security guard, we have all these things, thinks that he was doing by his actions. Now, actually, he reacted very emotionally, as she did. Are they wrong? Well, looking at your present time and where you're at, we can say no. And some would say, well, Red, that's not what you're teaching. Actually, I'm not teaching you what is wrong or right. I'm allowing you to process every event in your environment for you to process to make the better decision, the better choices. You don't have to move linguistically, physically, or not, like everything else around you. And the moment you forgive yourself for this, the process changes. You don't hold on to it. Ladies, in a relationship, if you're arguing, stop. You're only going to escalate it for no reason, no purpose. You're not going to win. You're not solidifying nothing. You're bringing more detriment, and not just division, but destruction. Men, same goes for you. You're supposed to be the rational ones, brother. Not denoting the female, but you're supposed to be the decision maker. You see how the two correlate? And if you transpose yourself in this dynamic, then you walk in it. Sadly, you accepted it. It's convenient. Does it mean it's right? Well, again, what is right and wrong? What is bad and good? Remember that we are not talking about happiness here. For example, when a loved one has just died, or you feel your own death approaching, you cannot be happy. That's sad. It is impossible. But you can be at peace. I've had numerous individuals who are gone who I used to sit by my grandmother when I went over there and flew over to Jersey. I sit with my grandmother. She was in the 90s. And I said, Mama, why did you retire at 82? She's like, well, there's nothing else to do. You know, the world is what it is. Very prolific, powerful words. She says, but I'm all right. Charlie and everybody's waiting on me. I'm at peace. She done raised 2 generations. She worked as a nurse to help in the psych wards in the hospital. She saw the worst. She saw the destruction. She was part of the first of her mother who migrated from the Carolinas up north, from her mother's side. War came and changed all that, right? Yet she held on to what was indicative of her existence, and it was the moral decision to do. Through all the absurdities, the lies, the crouching on the environment, the prolification of all that. And you know, whenever I say my enemy, I don't see them as my enemy. I see them as broken and lost. I use that term because it allows y'all to facilitate an idea. Sadly, irrationally, you take it to the furthest extent. And that's factual. And I don't mean for that to happen. Yet, it's meaningful. There may be sadness and tears, but provided that you have, could you imagine happiness, right, all the time? Provided that you have relinquished resistance. Underneath the sadness, you will feel a deep serenity, a stillness, a sacred presence. This is the emanation of being. This is inner peace, the good that has no opposite. He states, the individual who's questioning and writing this, what if it is a situation that I can do something about? How can I allow it to be and change it at the same time? Do what you have to do. In the meantime, accept what is. Since mind and resistance are synonymous with one another, acceptance immediately frees you from mind dominance. Your Rolodex is full, but it's empty as far as what you're able to select from, because you haven't been adapted with its truth. And thus, reconnects you with being. And as a result, the usual ego motivations for doing, fear, greed, control, defending, or feeding the false sense of self, will cease to operate. Again, let me read that again. Do what you have to do, and in the meantime, accept what is. Since mind and resistance are synonymous, acceptance immediately frees you from mind dominance, and thus reconnects you with being. And as a result, the usual ego motivations for doing, fear, greed, control, defending or feeding the false sense of self, which all of you do, will cease to operate. Hardest thing to do is to let go, isn't it? An intelligence much greater than the mind is now in charge. And so a different quality of consciousness will flow into your doing. You reconnect to the source. You're not giving up on life. You're not ending yourself. You're not walking in absurdity. When I express in the military, I went into the military 40 years ago, give or take a year or two. And I remember saying to people, the Vatican, underneath the catacombs of France and all these places, God, those are the bones through sacrifice and murder and mayhem and chaos that are still energy, because they didn't free them. They took their bones and stacked them, made rows of them through pain and torture, affliction, betrayal. Those who thought they were at peace poisoned, yes. And that's their trophy. As banal, as diabolical as it may sound, it's beyond your scope. And there is so much more under there. Look at what they just told y'all about the so-called pyramids of Giza. It's everywhere. You would think that people would figure that out, but no. They're only telling you because, as far as they're concerned, you're wrong. You know what I mean? You've accepted that. Sadly, that is what you should have never done. Power of now. Like I said to people, Gates don't own no land. They've convinced you of that. How do you buy a house on an acre or half an acre, and you still paying tax on the land and paying tax mortgage? What game is that? What disease, ill-written, begotten facilitation is that? I say they're scared because they are. It's not because they don't know what may be or may come. Anytime you do the things that go against natural nature, you're operating and moving and operating as much is in fear. It's in subtle or hard ignorance. And then some people feel like it's become the norm. You know, whenever you talk to somebody and the only appreciation they have for the people they deal with is those who've been in the in war, the bullets flying and returning. That is further from the truth. They are not the smartest or wisest people to talk to. When you have to placate your reality to facilitate a narrative on Hollywood music, this, that, and the big bad wolf, which they're not. The reality is they have been subjugated, and in that tumultuous turmoil of existence, that paints their picture. That paints how they walk. And then most of them, when they get to a point where it's done, then they say Jesus. No, Jesus was real. And I told you there's a different name. You choose the word of the name, Emmanuel. He had a natural born life through intercourse, and he was murdered. He wasn't the most graphic individual to look. He was graphic not to want to look at. By your definition of what ugly may be. Everything is a confliction. These things never mattered to us. Yet they matter today because y'all don't know no better. They always say, you know better, you do better. I disagree because people make choices, and their choices I guess aren't the best. I don't want to feed that energy. Like if I meet somebody, I want to say, power to you, how you doing? And I'm not talking like power, like I'm the leader and you're going to do as I say. It's not about vectoring control. Here we go. Narcissistic mannerism, psychopathic ideation, and none of that. It's really the fact that you are in control and you just don't know it because your control is subjugated based on the narrow mindedness of what you know. And what you know is actually in your DNA. And what they call the DNA. All these words I can't stand. It's just like, I don't recognize when they say phantoms. That's what they made you. I don't recognize that term. Leagues under the sea. The sea, I don't recognize that. I don't recognize them. They're unimportant. The sky, I don't recognize that term. The air, even though it's meaningless. The wind, that is something else. Yet, I will only appreciate it for the sake of you. I don't recognize these terms. And in your facilitation, you'll say that's crazy. Whatever it is you want to make, I am not afflicted or affected by it. Because I will still see things the same as I have through accumulation of my knowledge. I will see things regardless. And I don't have to beat you up. I don't have to do that. Because that takes me into another place. Ego. Defeatism. Unnecessary. You know what I mean? That's the brother and sister. Right here. It's the same one. Right here. Hey, baby. Don't worry, let me get you your goodies, okay? You too. Yes. There's little pieces of watermelon over there. Grab it. A little black, but yeah. Anyway, I see nobody has anything to say. I gotta go drink my juice because I need it. It's still a form of fasting. There's juice fasts as well, especially if you go a few days. I'm going to probably go 1 or 2 more days, but I am hungry. Don't get it twisted. I'm not starving. I can explain that for days. But I'm not going to. Hey, I wonder where them babies at. Oh wow, they removed the cover. I just noticed that. They did that again, huh? Who's all up in here? Asia. Thanks for the no problem. We got Asia, Patricia Griffin, Asia, Mr. Tinfo. That's awesome. We got Fred, Sharon, Millennial. Anyway, it's good to have you all. We had somebody came in to say something negative or whatever. Don't even bother with it. I think it's funny. You know. Now y'all could go ahead and y'all could share this. I appreciate it. I appreciate the comments. If you want to go back and listen to it, I stayed on longer than what I wanted. But hey, anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. Go and drink my little juice. I appreciate you guys. I really do. And if you plan on fasting, you can reach out. You can ask. It's something. If your birthday comes around and you want to reset, it doesn't get rid of pains and all that stuff, but you don't let those pains of your injuries or your past, they don't reward you, they don't defile you. You empty yourself. You empty your vessel. Just let it be. Yeah, I really would have enjoyed being able to do this for about 20, 30 years. I knew of it, yet I was, you know how it is when they say you're young, right? You feel kind of invincible based on the false world you live in. It doesn't matter for those of us who know some things compared to those who don't, because even those who don't know some things, regardless of what's accepted, you know the dynamics. All right. I hope y'all enjoyed that video with the brother there. They shadow ban him on all the platforms because he's sharing enlightenment. He walks a different way. He does things that I'm very aware of. He's coming into the knowledge, regardless of what he uses, his angel. That there are those of us who know. He probably questioned some of those things he found out, and now he's solidified a relationship. Whether it's the earth is flat, all the things. And it's not a complicated state, or it's not that you can't see these things. The moment you stop accepting the painting that was made for you, you realize that it was painted by numbers and you didn't paint it. You don't have to articulate that. All right? And I appreciate you guys. Oh, you saw me talking about in the iron I was showing you. I had ordered that. And then I realized it was garbage. I sent it off a little while to a friend of mine. I said, test it. And he says, Red, don't use it. So I went to the guy's page because I know my boy. I was over there saying, what are you selling? You probably ain't using this, to sell food, whatever, cosmetic, whatever. And I turned around and I went back on the platform to give a review. I don't know how, Cashapp or what. I don't know if the AI. I don't have no idea. All my information, I don't care about all. All of a sudden I get this little apple of Eve, 130. I'm not ordering nobody's crud for $130. And so I said, okay, well, I attempted to send a message to return it. Another one came. Wait a minute. I guess that's for those who do the monthly subscription or whatever. No, I think on Facebook I might have subscribed to the page. When I ordered it, I didn't order it for multiple. And I stopped that, I think. So I said, let me go on my shop, see what's going on. I went into the shop and it's got it set up. I'm like, I didn't order that. Now I looked at it. I looked at a bunch of stuff. And I said, no way. I'm looking at the ingredients. Y'all know who I am. And so I hit my credit company, America First. I'm not going to Navy Federal. Screw all these people, Wells Fargo, all of them. And they gave my money back. I called these people, I don't know how many times. They gave the bank the number. Yeah, we called them. And they refunded the funds. A few days ago, I get a letter, and they say, oh, they're going to reverse them. What? I reached out. No, I didn't order this stuff. They double dip and send it a second time. This is your enemy. This is how they proliferate their level of indoctrination. I could just laugh. But you better believe I'll be down there with all this stuff. I'll take 2 bottles, not unsealed, in that fridge. I ain't using that crap. And you return it to them. I did everything I could to get them to give me the thing to send it back to them after I stopped it. I never ordered it. The heck I need it for when I know how to really make that stuff. And they're all going to sit there looking. You can't make this up. This is how funny they are. This is what they do. Anyway, I appreciate you guys taking the time to listen to me. And I'll see you guys maybe tomorrow. We'll see. All right? I have so much more to give you. And there's so much I can. All right? See you guys later.